So earlier today there was a TV spot for the Avengers Endgame movie that showed us a little bit more details on the locations they're going to be visiting, but also some new characters we're going to be getting. We got our first look at the returning star from Thor Ragnarok, Valkyrie. She seems to be dressed a lot more casually without the marks on her face from the battle arenas and all of that. So clearly she's turned over a new leaf since the events of Ragnarok, which actually wasn't that long ago if you think about it. Infinity War takes place literally, it seems like a week after Ragnarok, or even just a day. How long were the Asgardians traveling in that ship? Who knows? Marvel's throwing all of its punches, it seems, when bringing back all of the characters that we've met throughout all the years of the movies. So we could even get someone like the Red Skull, for instance, who I guess is still on that planet and kind of doing nothing at this point since Thanos has the Spirit Stone. Thanos during a TV spot says, "After I kill you, I'm going to burn this annoying planet to cinders." He's returning to Earth to fight the Avengers, but he's not going to be going back there unprompted, so I'm sure they find Thanos first. The movie is said to be 3 hours long, which is intense. Most movies don't break the rule of being longer than 2 hours and roughly 30 minutes, I'd say, because of bathroom breaks mostly. But that is interesting. 3 hours of footage for a confrontation that seems like it could be worth 15 minutes of footage. So I'm interested in how they're going to be expanding that. But just like Infinity War, I'm sure everyone is going to be separated somehow. It's just easier to write for the characters when they're not all close together all the time. But Robert Downey Jr. recently has said some stuff about the movie, and I quote, "The last 8 minutes of that movie are maybe the best 8 minutes of the entire history of the whole run of them, in a way, because everyone's involved. So I was delighted." End quote. So this makes me wonder if we'll only be getting Thanos as the villain and not some help from others. Because as you know, if you watched Infinity War, Thanos' warriors were all basically killed in the last movie. So will this be more of a cat and mouse game where Thanos keeps teleporting away like he could easily do? Or will it be more of an actual battle, which of course it's going to be. But he's going to need people on his side, which he has none. He's basically the enemy of the universe at this point. I mean, no one really knows he did it per se, but I mean, a lot of people seem to know who Thanos is, and maybe they know what his overarching goal is. So he could still be the most hated one. One theory I like in particular is that Thanos will make use of one of the gems to take control of some of the remaining Avengers, the same way Loki did to control Hawkeye back in the first Avengers movie. That way, for instance, Thor could join Thanos, unwillingly, and fight against Iron Man again, being a great callback to how they first met all those years ago in the first Avengers movie. But also a way to divide the powers, because the Avengers team is just a bit too powerful right now. Thor spent the entire last movie trying to get his hammer, and then you got Captain Marvel also being there. They're gonna have to be split up somehow. How will this confrontation be expanded to 3-hour runtime is the real question. Clearly they've got more material than they had to work with Infinity War, so they are holding a lot back from the trailer and teasers. The Russo brothers have said everything they've released in the trailer has been from the first 30 minutes of the movie. But either way, there's no signs that this movie won't be just as great as Infinity War was. Although, on a personal note, what made Infinity War great for me was that everyone lost in the end. Only because I've never seen that happen in a superhero movie before. It was the only movie I went back to see again the next day. But, you know, here's to hoping this movie will be just as good as Infinity War was. I'd love it if these two movies were perfect, and not just kind of one of them's good and one of them's bad, so that you just can't go back and watch Infinity War again because you know where it leads. I'm just really hoping Endgame is good, and there's no, outstanding flaws. But it's coming out in 5 days, and I'm going to be doing my best to avoid actual spoilers for it. But until next time though, remember to drop a like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.